The New England Indie Authors Collective present Cabin Fever Cocktails, Our Lives in the Pandemic. Four Boston area writers, Jason M. Rubin, Randy Ross, Jenny Peaver, and Judah LeBlanc, presenting pieces of their lives and exploring how they remain creative, productive, inspired, sane, or semi-sane. Come join us as we negotiate a very challenging time.
Hi, Jason M. Rubin here. What I miss most is live music. The last show that I saw was on Wednesday, March 11th of this year. This guy Adam Sherman was playing at the Burren in Somerville. Now, I know Adam Sherman personally, and it was a show I was definitely looking forward to. And at that time, March 11th, people were talking about COVID-19, but there were no restrictions or anything. And yet I remember thinking when I got to the club that I shouldn't sit or stand too close to anyone. When I saw Adam, we greeted each other with awkward elbow bumps. It was a strange atmosphere, but, the music was really good. This was one of the tunes that he played. It's called So Good to Be Alive.
What you say, what you mean, two completely different things. It's so good to be alive. I see your face on the news. I'm gonna kick it with my shoes. So good to be alive.
Well, it seemed so at that time, but, things changed so quickly after that. The following day, I wrote a review of this show, and it appeared in the Arts Views, this online arts magazine that I write for, artsviews.org. Check it out. And as of the next Monday, we were all working from home and the quarantine was on. I haven't seen a show since then. And at the end of the review, I even noted future performances that he was going to be holding, even a residency that he was going to be doing at the Plow and Stars, and it all evaporated. None of that ever came to be. I also had tickets to see this band called Leonid and Friends. That was going to be July 24th at the Calvin Theater in Northampton. Leonid and Friends is this Russian band that plays the music of Chicago. The band Chicago. They cover their songs note perfect. And I love their music. I've seen them on YouTube. But it's a rare opportunity to see them live. I mean, they're from Russia. How many times are they going to tour America? Fortunately, they are rescheduling that show for next May. But listen to their version of 25 or 6 to 4. You won't even recognize until the vocals come in that it's not Chicago.
Waiting for the break of day. Searching for something to say. Flashing lights against the sky. Giving up, I close my eyes. Sitting cross-legged on the floor. 25 or 6 to 4.
Amazing, right? They're saying that live music will be one of the last things to come back. Until I can see a live concert, I'll have to stick to live albums. At least you get some of the excitement of the crowd noise there. One of my favorite groups to see live ever was the Kinks. And they put out a live album in 1979, 1980, something like that. Anyways, a song on it, one of their early greats, and it really just... Every day I ask myself, in the words of this song, where have all the good times gone? Everybody, won't you tell me, where have all the good times gone? Where have all the good times gone? Where have all the good times gone? Who knows? Hopefully they'll be back soon.
I really miss flying. I also really miss live performance, especially by this guy. This story is called The Day I Almost Became Gay. When I was in my 20s, I hitchhiked out to California, went right to the beach, laid down my towel, laid down myself, and 4 hours later, I was sunburned. And this was not a cute little red as a lobster, New England style sunburn. This was the real deal. I eventually developed huge blisters on my legs that would slosh around when I walked. 2 nights later, I was feeling worse rather than better, so I got back out on the road, started hitching home. And the first car that stopped was a little red Volkswagen Carmen Ghia, and the driver had long blonde hair and a beautiful face like Sharon Stone. I got in. He glanced at my legs and said, "That doesn't look good. Why don't you stay with me and my girlfriend for a couple nights?" So we go back to his place. Girlfriend makes dinner, goes to bed. Then he takes out some beer, and then he takes out some weed. And we party for about an hour, and I think to myself, you know, this guy's okay. He's sharing his house, he's sharing his food, and he's sharing his party supplies. So I took out a little bottle of Percodan. Now, Percodan was a prescription painkiller known to induce feelings of well-being and camaraderie. So the next day, he goes to work, I sit on the couch and watch TV. End of the day, he comes home, no sign of the girlfriend. After dinner, he takes out the beer, he takes out the weed, I take out the Percodan, which is known to induce feelings of well-being and camaraderie. After about an hour, he says to me, "Have you ever been to a gay bar?" And I thought to myself, you know, I think he's daring me. So at the bar, guys are buying me drinks, checking me out, and I thought to myself, you know, this is what it must be like to be a hot chick. So the the next day, he goes to work. I sit on the couch and watch TV. He comes home, no sign of the girlfriend. After dinner, he takes out the beer, he takes out the weed. I take out the Percodan, which is known to induce feelings of well-being and camaraderie. After about an hour, he says to me, I bet that couch must be kind of uncomfortable. Why don't you sleep in my bed with me? And I thought to myself, I think he's daring me. So we go into his room, and the bed is the size of a swimming pool. And I look at his long blonde hair and his beautiful Sharon Stone face, and I look back at the bed, and I notice that the sheets are all kind of bunched up and sprinkled with little white crusty stains. And I thought to myself, if I sleep in that bed, I could wake up tomorrow all bunched up and sprinkled with little white crusty stains. So the next day, he goes to work. I sit on the couch and watch TV. End of the day, he comes home. He takes out the beer, he takes out the weed. I take out the Percodan, which is known to induce feelings of well-being and camaraderie. An hour goes by, 2 hours go by, 3 hours go by. No mention of gay bars, no mention of sleeping in his bed. A couple more nights go by, and I still got these big blisters that are sloshing around when I walk, so the sunburn's not getting any better. So finally, he comes home with a plane ticket. I didn't know, but the guy was a travel agent. So the next day, we go to the airport, and the gate attendant meets me and goes, Mr. Ross, I understand you're not feeling very well. We're going to put you in first class. So I look at Mr. Sharon Stone with his long blonde hair and his beautiful face. I give him a hug, I give him a kiss on the mouth, and I give him my Percodan. And thinking back on it now, he was a much better man than I was. At that age, I wouldn't have gone through all that trouble for someone that wouldn't put out.
Probably a 12-step group for that. If not, there should be. The piece is called Lost in the East. On weekday nights, when I'm driving home from work on the outskirts of Boston, I search the radio dial. With no less fervor than a resident of an Eastern Bloc nation during the years of the Cold War, I turn to Radio Free Cleveland to search for a snippet of an Indians game, an update on the happenings of my old hometown, and a few of local talk show host Mike Tribusano's opinions on the decline of the Cleveland Indians. And if my news is jammed by rain, snow, or natural disaster, and I can't hear the 50,000-watt clear channel signal of 1100 WTAM AM, I go into a furious funk that may last for days. My need for a dose of Cleveland Indians baseball comes from years of sacrifice at the altar of the cellar-dwelling teams of the 1960s and 70s when I was growing up in a city more famous for its burning river than its sports teams, orchestras, or museums. Following the exploits of Gus Gill, Gomer Hodge, and a host of other prospects who never made it was one more source of heartache in a second-rate town. But I knew that if hell ever froze over and we won a World Series championship, that I could cheer in a lusty "I told you so" voice among the faithless converts who flocked to a winning team. I still haven't forgiven Jose Mesa, our relief pitcher, for blowing the 7th game against the Florida Marlins back in the 1997 World Series. They were 2 outs away from winning the World Series. Still, the Indians have provided the excitement of good teams and interesting players until recently. Even though their current owner is well on his way to restoring the tribe to mediocrity, I've made arrangements to come home this summer and take my 88-year-old godmother, Donna, to a game at Jacobs Field. Donna's love for the Indians is matched only by her religious faith and weakness for certain fried foods. My childhood memories are stuffed full with images of her leaning over our red plastic AM radio as the tribe found endless ways of avoiding victory. "Oh, they're so stupid," she'd yell, referring to a stream of hapless Indians managers from Bertie Tebet to Ken Espromonte to Frank Robinson. The next day, all was forgiven and she was back at her station until the tribe found another creative way to lose. But my sense of regional schizophrenia isn't limited to sports. Though I've called Massachusetts home for the last 17 years, I've never fully adjusted to the manners and mores of the locals. Bostonians reflect the climate and landscape of New England, cold and rocky, And the East, while politically liberal, can be intolerant as well. Think Salem witch trials and the integration of South Boston. Simple things that soften gray Midwestern winters, nodding hello to a stranger on the street, exchanging greetings with a clerk at CVS, rarely happen here. Except for you guys, I know. Boston etiquette calls for ignoring strangers and avoiding eye contact at all costs, unless one is panhandling, in which case locking eyes is a plus. And Boston drivers, unlike those in Cleveland, do not yield to pedestrians or use their turn signals. Turn signals give away your intention and are considered signs of weakness, traits of Midwesterners and other out-of-towners who are probably lost anyway. In short, Bostonians have taken rugged individualism to new heights. Folks who migrate here from other slower-paced regions of the nation are faced with an adjustment process. Some merge into the general culture. They too become tight-assed and cold-shouldered. Others, gentler souls who are loath to shove old ladies onto the T, pack up and move for places, move out to places south or west. And a few of us remain in limbo, driving like entrants in the demolition derby, but still hungering for a smile as we walk around town. My Cleveland fixation is a source of amusement among my friends. Why, they wonder, do I stay in the East? Why don't I jump on the bandwagon and root for Boston teams, especially now that they're doing so well? And finally, what's so great about Cleveland, they ask. From time to time, I answer the first question. My niece and nephew, whom I love even more than the Indians, live on Boston's North Shore. But the second and third questions remain mysteries to the uninformed. Deep in my gut, I'll always be a Clevelander. I always feel better on those weekday nights when Mike Trevisano's broad Midwestern vowels fill the dark space of my car. Even when the Indians lose, I'm still connected to the place where people care about the tribe and about each other. Thank you.
So enough is enough with these guys. I think it's time that we have some girl talk. Imagine a warm summer night, and it's a perfect night for an outdoor tango, and suddenly you're dancing in the street. Maybe in Italy, maybe in Spain. Here's the thing, I know that the world is in a terrible, terrible place right now, and I feel totally superficial talking about such insignificant things as my shoes. However, we can control what we can control, and I think that shoes are a sign of hope, and they're hope about what's going to come in the future. My shoe rack is a sign of optimism, and it has been embellished by all of the internet sales that are going on, where I can't resist buying shoes that are just so cheap. They like pay me to take them. So I've gotten some things to replace some of the things that have worn out, and they have worn out from a lot of years of use, so I don't feel too guilty about it. These are the shoes that are hope of many, many dog walks to come, and I'm excited. These are the shoes that are hope of going out with friends and being able to sit at a restaurant and enjoy life as it was before. But these are the shoes of hope. These are the shoes that I could actually wear dancing, and dancing used to be maybe my abnormal pleasure, my abnormal addiction, and I've gone through different phases in my life with swing dance and salsa and tango, and I miss that. I miss being part of the music and letting it take me, and interacting with a dance partner and the social aspect of it, and it's magical. And I really look forward to having that in the future. So the shoes are a sign of what I hope to come. So I can't do social dance. I can't even do modern dance or jazz dance right now. So I have been doing some ballet videos, which is actually pretty abnormal for me because I haven't done that since high school. But that's fun. But the thing that's getting me through all of this, I suppose, and you do it shoeless, is yoga. And that's just the best thing for me right now. And it gives me a sense of being centered, and it does give me a sense of hope even beyond my shoes. So I don't know where you're at with this, but I'd love to hear from you. So in the meantime, namaste.
Want to find out more? Check out our website at NEIAC.org. That's NEIAC.org, or on our Facebook page.